The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and more in southwestern Connecticut.
Good afternoon and welcome to Boyle Stadium here in Stamford, Connecticut. Frank Granito and John Kovach for the HAN Network as we get ready to see the Danbury Hatters take on the Stamford Black Knights. John, excited to have you in the booth. How are you doing today?
Glad to be here. Boyle, the operative word today. It is hot down there on the field. I was down there earlier, and it's going to be a factor at some point in this game.
It was hot last night. We saw it affect some of the players in not only the Ridgefield game, but throughout the FCAC. We'll have those scores in a little bit. But we had this game last year on the HAN Network, and it was Stamford who came out on top 32-19. It was a real ground and pound game from both teams, though, John.
Be interesting to see what we get again, because we've seen Danbury already in pregame show that ground and pound, show that double tight, double wing, misdirection-based offense, countering back against it, jet sweeps, blasts, all kinds of stuff off of just jamming the defense in and making them play disciplined.
It's that true wing tee. They're one of the last few teams in the FCAC that stays true to it. We talked a little bit about Stanford. They bring back Tyrell Diaz, their running back, who really had a big game last year against Danbury, but this is a Stanford team that wants to throw the ball over the top.
They like to be quick strike. That's the book on this Stanford team. They want to get vertical on you, yet they've got running back threats, and does it behoove them to control the clock and keep the ball out of Danbury's hands rather than go for that quick strike? I'm curious to see how that unfolds.
We'll have more coverage of this game in just a couple minutes, but let's first take a look at the FCAC slate from last night's games. John, we were at Ridgefield and Trumbull, but why don't you tell us about some of the other games that were going on in the conference?
Some of the other games there, we had a barn burner in Wilton, with Wilton going to overtime for a 21-14 over Ward. Staples 38 over Brian McMahon 13, and Fairfield Ludlow dropping a 41-19 decision at home to Norwalk. But I think all of those games probably pale in comparison to what you had up there in Ridgefield.
And that Wilton Ward game is a close one going to overtime. Really great job by the Warriors, but what we saw at Tiger Hollow last night was one of a kind, and what a great way for us to kick off the FCAC season. Ridgefield coming back from a 17-point halftime deficit, scoring the last 29 points of the game to come out with the 46-33 win. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from last night right now. Live from Tiger Hollow, it is opening weekend for the 2016 FCAC football season. And we have seen the explosiveness and the experience on display as the Eagles down the seam, Rivera for the touchdown.
Too easy.
Make it 4-ease. Roberta's first score of the night. Ridgefield trailing by 17, but having some success on the opening drive. Empty set. Fowler throws off the back foot, looking for it up in the air. Caught off the tip. Palmer for the touchdown.
Palmer comes down with the ball.
What a great grab, an athletic play. Almost a great defensive play by the Eagles there, but a great grab by Palmer.
Standing almost 6'3" as the give is inside to Woods. Hits a seam, and now he's off to the races. Nobody's going to catch him. Marquise Woods, one play to the house.
Marquise Wood on the carry. Touchdown.
Wow.
We'll expect to see two plays. Fowler, design run play off the fake pass, heading for the goal line. Touchdown, Tigers. And there is life yet again here in Ridgefield. They will have to go for two, though. Looks left, pumps the bubble. Now he wants to go up top. He's looking for Lowe, going up for it, makes the catch, makes it a miss. Touchdown, Tigers. And we are a 2-point conversion away from a tie football game, Kevin Coleman. Fowler dropping back, looking over the middle, tries to float one. He's got Palmer in space, heading towards the sideline. Jumps over one man. Touchdown, Tigers. Well, they got going, Kevin. Fowler looking left. He's going to throw the long ball down the right side. He's got low to the 5. Touchdown!
Shows how much I know.
What a gutsy call. 3rd and 17. Throw the long ball. And that is going to do it here. It's a 29-point run from Ridgefield to end the game. They come back from being down at 17 at the half. The final score, the Tigers 46, the Eagles 33. John, it was incredible resiliency from that Tigers team, but really a tale of two halves where Trumbull looked like they might have been the best team in the conference in the first half and just came out so flat in the second.
Just on the few highlights I just saw there, what a job by Ridgefield to stretch the field vertically and just perfect throws on some of those ones that it's a catch or it's incomplete. You're not going to pick it off.
And that was what it was going right for Trumbull in the first half. McElroy to Hoffman, 2 separate times, or 3 catches of at least 30 yards was the tail. The Ridgefield D-backs looked lost. They tighten it up. Then they're able to break through to that Trumbull secondary. There was a point in time with about 6-7 minutes to go in the third quarter. I asked Kevin Coleman, if Trumbull scores right now, is this game over? The air had been sucked out of Tiger Hollow. The place felt dead. It was just crazy. And then one play, it was the big throw to Chris Longo, and he rode a Trumbull defender down from the 30 to about the 5-yard line on a stiff arm. That was really the game-changing play where we saw momentum shift. But Ridgefield now heads off to New Canaan next week, and we'll have that game as well. But we've got New Canaan, Darien, and Greenwich also in action today. Why don't you tell us about when and where they'll be playing?
We have got 2 1:30 games kicking off with us. You've got, or along with us, you've got Danbury at Stamford, Darien at St. Joe's. Those are both 1:30 games. At 3 o'clock, Greenwich visits West Hill, and Trinity Catholic is at New Canaan. That's a game that was moved because Trinity Catholic's new stadium is not done yet. I'm eager to see it. I'm sure they're 10 times as eager as I am. How's that going to affect them having to unexpectedly go on the road?
Well, it's interesting. We were talking about it yesterday with Dave Rudin in the pregame. New Canaan is actually on the road at home. They are playing as the away team.
They're playing as the away?
Which is interesting, but
we get to show the white jerseys.
I think they'll be wearing the silver. Trinity Catholic. That could be an interesting game. We could be seeing white jerseys versus silver jerseys, according to a couple of my sources. Ooh. But New Canaan wanted that game when it was moved to be played at night. Trinity insisted it stayed in the afternoon. So that game at 3 o'clock, they'll be able to find the info on that throughout on Twitter with several of the Connecticut sources. But I think the game to keep an eye on today is Darien St. Joe's, outside of ours, obviously. I think Greenwich can take care of business pretty easily at West Hill. St. Joe's might be able to stick with the state champs, and we're going to have to see a lot of rebuilding from the Wave.
Wave needs a lot of rebuilding. St. Joe's in a state of flux. Can they hang with the defending state champs? How much like the defending state champs is this year's version of the Darien Blue Wave?
Just about 10 minutes to kick off here right now. We're going to take a quick break. Don't forget, though, that if you want to watch last night's game in its entirety, you can check it out on demand at HAN.network. John and I will be right back with some more preview coverage of Danbury at Stamford right here on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Players have access to soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball and softball, field hockey, rugby, basketball, volleyball, and social game facilities. InSports has also launched an early childhood development program, a daycare and pre-K program all rolled into one. Don't miss out on the fun. Find out more at insportscenters.com or call 203-268-1214.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best,
offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan, and you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Wednesday, where we bring you all the top stories for Connecticut sports.
From players and coaches' interviews to expert opinions with local sports editors, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. More than 1.5 million viewers have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment broadcasting since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Boyle Stadium. Frank Granito, John Kovac here for the HAN Network as we get set for today's game between the Danbury Hatters and the Stamford Black Knights. Danbury has just come back onto the field. Stamper still hanging out in the locker room. So let's start with the Hatters, John. What can we expect to see out of their offense today?
We saw double tight, double wing as we expected, misdirection, counters. I'm sure we'll see traps. We'll see all kinds of movement and misdirection, which means that Stamford's defense, something they haven't been known for in recent years, is going to have to be disciplined. That's how you stop the option. You can't freelance. You've got to play your assignment. Can they do that? Now, they have a new defensive coordinator in John Prenderville. I coached with him at Platt Tech and Fairfield Ludlow. He's coached professionally in Sweden with a guy I hope is watching, Nicholas Steckelmacher. He has coached the Southwest Connecticut Grizzlies, who have won national championships.
And they're not just going to be limited to that double tight, double wing formation. We will see them expand the field a little bit. You will get some slot receivers, a lot of motions, try to get their athletes out in space.
I always try to look at the spread as essentially an exploded double slot, double wing, or double tight, double wing. You're just stretching the field horizontally to get the defense out of the box. It's really a lot of the same principles in spread as in wing T. It's just you're packing the box and giving them less room to move.
We can see the Black Knights emerging from the tunnel now. What will we expect from that offense today?
We think they're going to run the ball. We think they want to throw it. That's the book on Jamar Green. What I want to see is how they adjust, how far behind they are, because Jamar Green did a great job. The kids were buying in. Everything was rolling. And then they made him reapply for his job last spring. Didn't rehire him until too late to have spring practice. And I think they've been playing catch-up for a big part of the preseason. How will they react? What will they be able to do? What's installed? What's fine-tuned? Because we're seeing a little bit of sloppy play this week because I think teams are a little bit behind where they were because of changes to the preseason.
Obviously no FCX championship here, but both these teams in Class LL, the state playoffs are going to be very important. Danbury started 0-6 last year. They cannot afford to get off to that slow of a start again with the meat of their schedule, including Darien, New Canaan, and Greenwich in there.
Yeah, they've got to start with a win here. You've got to take the one that's winnable. This is one, Vinny Camara, who coaches with me. They're 10% of teams you're not going to beat. 10% of teams you're always going to beat. This is one of those games in the 80% where anybody could beat anybody. You play it 10 times, you're going to have 10 different results.
Should be a really good one. We're going to step aside one more time. When we get back, we'll have kickoff and live coverage of today's game right here on the HAN Network.
At Mex on Main, Trumbull's very own Mexican grill, we're all about fresh, fast, and friendly service. Our Main Street restaurant offers the best in traditional and non-traditional Mexican dishes, with only the best ingredients, never frozen. From authentic burritos, fajitas, quesadillas, and salads, we have something on the menu for everyone in the family. And enjoy our open salsa bar, giving you more ways to customize your meal. Stop in for lunch or dinner at 6528 Main Street, Trumbull, or find out more at mexonmain.com. At Mex on Main, Trumbull.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I'm a filthy rich executive. I hear the market's down 1,000,000 points. I freak out. I spill my large espresso. The searing pain makes me slam on the brakes. Uh-oh, your fault. And your cut rate insurance may not cover my $90,000 car, so I sue you, because that's what I do. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
In Sports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, In Sports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Players have access to soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball and softball, field hockey, rugby, basketball, volleyball, and social game facilities. In Sports has also launched an early childhood development program, a daycare and pre-K program all rolled into one. Don't miss out on the fun. Find out more at insportscenters.com or call 203-268-1214.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com. What's happening up in Hartford and what's in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break. The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and more in southwestern Connecticut.
Live from Boyle Stadium, this is the HAN Network's opening weekend coverage as we bring you the Danbury Hatters and the Stamford Black Knights today. Frank Granito and John Kovach on the call. John, we are lined up and just about set to get this one kicked off. Stamford won the toss. They defer to the second half, so it will be the Hatters who open up the ball with the first possession.
Surprises me because Stamford, known for wanting to be a quick strike offense, that they would give up first possession.
Opening kick is a line drive down the field, fielded there by Aaron Augusto. Runs to his right, comes back left, and is wrapped up and brought down by Fabrice Barthias. So it will be Danbury ball, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line on the left hash.
Stamford in the all-black, and we've been discussing it up here. It is very hot on that field today. I was down there a while ago talking to some people. Stamford's been out there for hours.
Hours is an understatement. We felt like they've been on the field. They were out there before we even got here this morning to set up. So under center is Davion Vines. He will run the offense for the Hatters. It's that traditional wing tee going in motion from left to right, triple option. Vines keeps, fakes the pitch, wrapped up inside. That pitch man was Aaron Augusto. You will hear his name called a lot today. Let's call it a gain of about 2.
Good defense by Stamford. It looks like they held their assignments there. It looks like what they're playing is a 3-4 with the outside backers rolled up, but then they're playing a robber scheme in the secondary because they have one deep safety, one going with the motion. I think they're playing a robber with the motion, tracking whatever to try to track whatever happens and take away misdirection.
Double wing formation, Vines under center again. The lone fullback is Peter Thomas. This time coming in motion, taking the pitch, is Lauren Lynch. Lynch goes up the inside. That's actually a helmet, as you hear some balls calls from the stands there. Lynch off the toss, though, able to pick up 6 more yards. So it will be 3rd and 1 coming up. And having to come out of the game is Antonio Robinson. Obviously, the rule all the way up until the pros, if your helmet comes off, you've got to come out for at least one play.
One play.
So 3rd and 1. Davion Vines under center. And, John, for those who watched last night, this will be a much different offense for Danbury than compared to what we saw with the Eagles or Tigers.
It's a precise offense. It is not a quick strike offense.
And that was Heerman holding on for dear life for the Black Knights, but a good job by Vines on the design keeper. Picks up 2. We only needed 1. It is a first down for the Hatters.
Just took the ball from center, just swept to the left side. Not sure about the holding the ball up in the air as you're going down there. You had the yardage, protect that. You don't know what the gentleman in stripes see.
Staying in the double wing set, Lynch and Augusto the wings. That's Thomas, the fullback. Vines brings Lynch one way. Fake the fullback, running the option. Vines keeps now a late pitch ball. Good job there by Augusto to hold on to that one as it almost squirted free. But, John, the biggest thing that can plague an offense when you run the option is fumbles.
The pitch is dangerous, and it's backwards, so it's a live ball. Augusto saves them right there. That could have been a turnover and a big one early on.
And it was a very late pitch from Vines. He had made the first man miss, went to that fake pitch, was getting wrapped up, and maybe first day jitters trying to make a little bit of an extra play.
It's timing and precision. You want to carry it through until the tackler has him wrapped. Now they've expanded it.
So this is that king slot. They bring Lynch in motion. Jet sweep to him. Collision with Vines. But Lynch able to get to the outside before wrapping him up was that outside linebacker, Matthew Doyle, the junior for the Black Knights.
More of a pistol set, and we saw trouble with the snap that I think threw the timing of that play completely off.
Obviously, the jet sweep, when you design that now, the way teams run that, John, you catch it and you try to pitch it forward to the jet sweep man to avoid any kind of fumble, becomes an incomplete pass.
In the hopes. Now, that one I think was a straight handoff because he could not get the handle on it as he took the snap from center.
They're back in Pistol Kings again with Thomas offset to the Twins up top, alone down here. As this one, Vines going up top. Man got tied up. No flags fly.
I think it's a good no call. Again, there's so much misunderstanding at this level at a high school of the rules in high school and college. Until the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you can nudge the receiver and hit him all you want. You get so many people want the 5-yard chuck called, and that's not the rule.
It's not the rule. There's also no uncatchable rule in high school either.
Correct.
So that brings up 4th and 12 now as the Hatters are forced to punt.
The old swinging gate punt formation.
Stanford showing no sign of bringing pressure as Vines, also the punter, lets this one go. Not a bad kick, rolling down to around the 30-yard line, and it will stop there, where the Black Knights will take over for the first time. So 1 first down for the Hatters to start. What did you think of that opening drive, John?
I think we talked in the intro a little bit about timing, about precision, about having everything clicking and where teams are. And I think we saw it not click to the extent that we would expect it to.
So this will be the first look we get of the Stanford offense this season. 8:27 to play here in the first quarter. Scoreless game, opening weekend coverage here on the HAN Network. Remember, if you missed last night's game of Trumbull and Ridgefield, you can catch it all on demand at HAN.network. As Troy Duncan, the second-year quarterback in the gun, gives here. And that one carried by Matthew Doyle up the gut. And good for about 4 yards on that rush.
Yeah, I thought he actually had more than that. I'd have given him about 7. Because he did knife through fairly quickly. Unusual spot to see. But yet there you see Stanford try to establish the run very early. First call, but he had some room to move there.
He did. It was a nice job. Good blocking up front. Found the hole. Snuck through the seam. 2-by-2 set as they come out in the ace formation. Duncan, give again to Doyle. Cutting inside. Makes one defender lose him. And he's finally wrapped down, but not before he picks up enough for a first down.
Just leg drive there, gets through a tackle that was more of a catch than a tackle. You want to deliver the blow coming forward, neutralize the momentum. There it was just try to catch him and stop him. It failed.
Again, it's Doyle. Inside this time, runs into one of his own linemen who was down on the ground, as we've got some scratching and clawing at the bottom of our screen. Danbury coming out of the pile with the ball. They'll say they were down, though. So 3 plays, 3 runs to Doyle. And we've seen a mix now, John, of huddle and tempo from the Black Knights. Interesting to think now. We talked about the heat, the humidity, how much of a factor it will play. Danbury is going to be very deliberate. It won't be that trying on the Stanford defense. Stanford can put pressure on the Hatters' defensive players.
But again, they're in all black.
Nice job there by Aaron Donfallo as he went up to climb the ladder, but we've got a Black Knight player down at midfield. That is Jarny Francois.
Tackle and defensive end, one of the linemen, and you hate to see that. And he's in a little bit of pain there.
He is clearly upset. Looks like it might be a little serious, but that was the first pass attempt we've seen. They go to the hitches play. We saw them running that in warm-ups. We'll take a quick break here while they tend to Francois, and we'll be right back on the HAN Network.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. More than 1.5 million viewers have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment broadcasting since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273.
Francois able to make it off here as Duncan on the keeper up the gut on 3rd and short, and he will be very close, but this could be the first decision of the day that a coach has to make.
Little QB counter. They're chipping away. It's not the fast strike that you associate with Stamford since Jamar Green became the head coach. But it's very effective right now.
They are going to stop here. They want to get a measurement at this one. And you're right. And it worked last year. They saw how the run game can be effective, but you don't need to be taking shots right now.
No, you don't. Hey, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think they got this.
It is very, very close. From the initial look, I do think
it's within a link or two if they don't.
And they got it on the nose. Good eyesight there, Johnny. 6-12.
It's my job. It's what I do.
6:12 to go here in the first quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Black Knights who are back in the huddle. They're going to take Duncan out.
No, he's just getting
the play, but they've got to wait. That's right. You've got to check the rest out before he can come back in. Good heads-up awareness from the coach, but it looks like we are seeing Tyrell Diaz in there for the first time today.
And that's going to be something you're going to have to watch here, too. How much do these coaches have the quarterbacks running back and forth to get plays? You can run hundreds of yards in the course of a game.
Pistol formation again. Diaz, the deep back, as he takes this one, throws several defenders down before scratching and clawing, and he picks up about a yard, working to his right.
Diaz, 6 feet, 245, a lot of size there, making his way into the Danbury line, but he didn't really get much.
So that brings up 2nd and a long 9. You want to be generous here as a Black Knights fan.
Yeah, it's a real long 9. Well, 10's a long 9.
But Duncan, still the quarterback in. They've got the fullback Cameron Freckleton and Diaz in the backfield. Receivers shifting sides here as Nico Lavris comes towards the bottom of your screen, the senior captain. Duncan, the give this time to Freckle. Bounces off one defender and then jumped on from behind as Ben Bueno, the sophomore D lineman, runs him down to make the play, and it is 3rd and 12 now upcoming for the Black Knights.
Now, they moved the ball very well until they got that first down on the measurement. They changed and put him what really would be a fantastic jumbo package. Freckleton, a junior, 6'2", 191. Diaz, 6 feet, 245. That's a lot of size. I could see doing that from the 10 in, but I don't know about...
And Duncan not that small either at 6'2", 185.
No.
John, if you're the Black Knights right here, maybe you go back to those hitches and give yourself 4th and an option.
You've left yourself no choice.
Got a hot route possibly open here down in the slot as they look to the left. Pass is knocked away, trying to set up the tunnel screen to Aaron Donalfo. And it'll be an easy decision now as they'll bring the punt unit out.
I'm curious to see what they do when they go back to that 3 wide to us formation, because there were certainly openings there for a stick route or for a seam that they didn't take advantage of trying to set up the tunnel screen.
And even just that hot route. No one lines up over number 3.
Right.
It's 3rd and 12. You think you're in 4-down territory. Snap it out quick. Maybe you've got a play.
Right. Get the ball to him. He'll have one guy to beat in space. Trust your athlete to make plays.
Nico Lavris is deep to punt this one away. Standing back there to return it is Messiah Crowell and Aaron Augusto. And we have got a Stanford timeout taken with 4:07 to go. There was a little bit of miscommunication with the numbers on the field. We will take a timeout with them, John, and we're right back here on the HAN Network's opening weekend coverage.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Lavris on the rugby-style kick, and it's a good time to drop a shankopotamus as that one is off the side of the foot. Going to end up being a 4-yard net punt, Johnny.
Well, not only was it off the side of his foot, it landed near the 30 and then rolled back another 10 yards before it went out.
The opposite of what you do the rugby punt for.
Correct.
Just Lavris missing off the side there, so.
I think it hit the side of his foot and it put the spin on it. When I was coaching at prep, we had Xavier tried an onside kick, a cosmetic one in the game, and the ball actually spun 2 yards forward and then 12 yards behind the defense and out of bounds.
So back to the single tight double wing as the give inside to Augusto. Knifing his way through the defense, he picks up about 3.
Yeah, Danbury's starting to split the X to the top of the field out a little bit. You sometimes try to do that. Get your receiver on an island. Hope maybe they forget about him.
That, and essentially what you're doing, too, is you're going to say, okay, we'll bring you all the way outside. You have to bring someone out there to cover us. It's just one less body to worry about.
Right.
But going back to that punch just very quickly, it's opening weekend. We've seen a couple of kickers who have struggled early on. It's high school. They need to get into that, and not a lot of coaches are focusing on kicking during the preseason. They've got to play other positions.
Don't have the time.
They've got to play other positions as well. As this time it's Thomas on the fullback carry up the middle. Goes for 10 yards right there, and he picks up a Hatters first down with 3:11 to go in the first quarter.
I've never coached a pistol team. I've warmed to it some, but that's one of the plays that I like in that because it's such an easy handoff. Your fullback is right there next to you.
Well, the biggest thing that we'll see Stanford have to cope with all day is when you're playing against the option, you have to play assignment football. As the give again to Thomas, and this time staying right there from the middle was Cameron Freckleton. Good job. Excuse me. That is, yes, Cameron Freckleton who made the play. But, John, what you've got to do is that you'll have a man assigned to take the fullback, one player designed for the quarterback, and another player designed for pitch. The moment you don't do your assignment is when option teams can break it.
Do your job. That's the mantra if you're playing defense against an option team. And it's when you do somebody else's job that things go real bad real quick.
Twins open from the I formation here.
Stanford showing blitz.
It's a fullback give inside. Excuse me, that was a quarterback keeper.
Yeah, I wonder if he didn't check to that or do it himself when he saw the blitz because you had a double-barrel blitz coming, both inside backers, and they showed it.
Gives yourself third and manageable, though, now as the Hatters need to pick up 5 with just over a minute 50 left here in the first quarter. We'll see what they come out in and if they consider throwing. Vines is over 1 on the day. It's Pistol Kings with the fullback set off to the Twins.
And all 4 linebackers off the ball the last few plays for Stanford where they were rolled up earlier when they were in the double tight.
Jet motion from Lynch. They fake to him, and it's an option to the left. Bouncing out to space is Augusto. Makes one man miss, and a good job there by Lavris stepping up from the corner to make the tackle. But it is going to be very close again.
I'll tell you, if Danbury does not have this first down, it is all because Lavris played that textbook. He closed on the ball. He kept his feet running. Perfect tackle. Drove his man back. It's all up to the chains now.
And we'll get another measurement again. And the most important thing he did coming from that corner position, doesn't allow Augusto to get outside him.
No.
He is a forced player. Nothing is allowed to get outside you. You've got 10 guys coming from the other side to help you out. As the Chains make their way onto the field here, second consecutive drive with a measurement. As they measure this one out, and the Hatters have missed it by what appears to be 2 or 3 centimeters, maybe. You didn't even get the 2 hands on that one, John. You got the fingers. I don't think there'll be any hesitation that Danbury comes out to go for this one.
Oh, I think you have to. But, again, that gets back to Lavris. That it's a game of inches. Lavris playing that the way you teach a defensive back to do it, huge difference. Now what happened at bad snap here? Anything can happen. This is not a gimme. Nothing is.
Nothing in this game is a gimme, that's for sure.
Beauty of the game.
But again, we talked, do your job, and that's exactly what just happened.
Correct.
Normally not involved on an option play. That corner gets off his block, comes up, and makes a play. So it will be 4th and maybe 2 inches as Danbury taking their time out of the huddle.
Inside the final minute of this first quarter. Back to the double tight, no surprise.
See if they just go QB keeper. They do. Vines gets it with ease and continues on there as he makes his way all the way down to the 30-yard line. Davion Vines, the very nice job there on 4th and inches, picking up about 10.
But that's just leg drive and want to. That's just a guy who, all right, I got what I needed. I'm going to take a little more from you.
And it was a little surprising having the tackles so wide on the Stamford D line there.
Because they have both backers up in the A-gap showing that blitz.
So double wing, double flanker. They bring Augusto in motion. It's a quick pitch out to him. Trying to find some blocks. Hits a seam now, heading for the right corner. Makes one man miss, and he's in for the touchdown.
You had no perimeter and no overhang play there.
Absolutely not. And what a great block from the receiver, Messiah Crandall. And Deontay Vines getting out in space and putting out 2 lead blocks there on the safety and corner. But Augusto turned on the jets and showed off the speed.
That's just textbook how you get outside. He laddered it very nicely. Really a pretty play, but they caught, I don't know if it was an alignment, but there was nobody out there once it got there.
You would expect Stanford to bump or shift roll maybe when you get that motion, but they did not.
And they have been doing it.
It'll be the sophomore Lucas Ameril on to attempt the extra point. 6-0 the score. We'll see if Ameril can add the 7th. The kick up and good. And with 18 seconds to play in the first quarter, Danbury strikes first. But you want to know why Danbury is so good in track and field every year? It's athletes like that right there.
Oh, yeah. They're good in track and they're good in wrestling, which is why them not being a dominant football team has never made any sense to me.
But we got to meet with their captains on the HN Network's FCAC tour this fall, and this is a hungry group. They're very excited, and they really do believe this could be the year they start to turn this program around. So 7-0, we will see the kick unit for the Hatters for the first time and see some of that Stanford speed that'll go deep for the return. You come back now, you're the Black Knights, you're trailing for the first time. You'll still be the first quarter. What do you have to do on this drive to get back to that early success they had?
I think you go back to what you were calling. They got away from it and got those big guys back in a pistol set off of the ball and didn't have the success they had early on. What I want to see is, do they go back and try to get it all back at once and retie this?
Obviously, we talked about Diaz in the pregame having the big game last year, but it was really Matty Doyle on that first drive that had the success running the ball those first 3 plays, picking up almost 15, 20 yards there.
Stanford always with 4 on the front line in recent years.
This will be offside. We saw 3 consecutive offsides on an attempted kickoff last night from Ridgefield. It was one of the more bizarre things I've seen.
Again, you're early in the season.
It's Charles Razor and Antonio Robinson who stand deep for the Black Knights. That middle row, you've got a slew of running backs with Diaz in the middle, Doyle down at the bottom of your screen, and Jake Heerman over on the far right side, standing on the 25 on the numbers. Kicking for the Hatters is Fabio De Oliveira.
No bow to the Hatters kick team. They're all back at that 5 yards.
This one chunked a little bit as Diaz comes up to field, finds himself behind a wall, now just trying to drive those big legs as he gets stood up at the 40-yard line and is taken down by a wash of white jerseys.
I'm a big wedge return guy, but that was like a scrum.
It just looked like the kick being a little short, kind of stuck up there. It really did look like a rugby scrum. Everyone got together, tried to just drive their way forward. So 11 seconds left in the first quarter now. Drive number 2 for the Black Knights offense as Duncan comes into the huddle.
Back in the pistol.
It's pistol Queens. Twins offset to the left side. You've got the fullback Freckleton on the bottom right. The give to Diaz up the gut. Steps to his right. Dives up the middle. Picks up about 5 yards. And that will do it for the first quarter. Good action back and forth. But it's the Hatters who strike first in the final 20 seconds and take a 7-0 lead as we step aside and get ready for the second quarter right here on the HAN Network.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
I'm Kovac. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Back here for the second quarter from Boyle Stadium as bobbling the snap is Duncan. Diaz driving up the middle, stood up, and we got a pile jumper coming in for the Hatters. Picks up 4.5. He needed 5, though.
I thought they were supposed to call that every now and then to deter that activity.
Let me ask you, you were at the Ludlow-Norwalk game last night. What were the calls like with helmet-to-helmet contact?
There was one called, and it was a very, very legitimate call, and actually the player in question was kind of removed and said, hey, tone it down. And he did. The quarterback went down. He kind of slipped, and it was late, but it was a legit call.
And I'm not saying that when this call needs to happen, that guy needs to be ejected right away, but we had probably 3 calls in the first half of helmet-to-helmet hits that were helmet-to-helmet hits, but in years past you might not have seen. I like that the officiating crews this year are going to step up on that call. As Duncan rolling to his left, he's got the ball out there in that left hand like a loaf of bread, and it's knocked right out, scrumming around for it, and coming up with it finally is Daniel Colazzo for the Black Knights, but that was a risky play by Duncan.
Very risky, and he had receivers. I don't know if did he boot the wrong way?
I think it was a read option play. He chose to keep it, and as he was rolling out, was thinking maybe he could throw to a receiver, but
Hopkins was open, and they go from really a third and third and manageable
6 inches
to 4th and 11 and punting it back, and lucky to be punting it back. Lucky that they're not giving Danbury a short field.
And what a play by Messiah Crandall. Noticing the ball, looked like Charles Tillman out there. Seeing the ball in that left hand, just came right down with the punch and knocked it clean out.
When you do what you're taught to do, you get mentioned on television.
So back to punt again is Lavris. It's a rollout. This time gets a hold of that one. A good kick working down, lands around the 25, checks up again, still rolling back. Not what you want to do there. Someone's got to touch that ball. That's a live ball.
It bounced off of Colazzo. And then Colazzo touched it. It really, and that's the spot they're giving him, is where it hit Colazzo's legs before it rolled back.
Well, Collazo then also just kept it in bounds, which you cannot do.
No, hold on to it.
John, we do want to take a moment. I've just heard Josh Fisher is watching online right now on the way to the wedding. Offer him our congratulations and the best of luck. Good to hear he's not on the way to the train station. And I hope he does not get in trouble for that comment.
And on a mobile device, you could actually watch this game while you're getting married. That's the beauty of mobile.
Oh.
Congratulations, Josh and Liz. We're so happy for you.
See you guys in a couple weeks. Enjoy the honeymoon. 1st and 10 for the Hatters from the 25. Vines recognizes the blitz, makes a check. Give inside on that dive option as Lynch powers ahead for about 3 or 4 there.
Stanford's showing a lot of the blitzes. And that's good as when you mix it up a little bit, you can get in their heads. I just personally, I'm always a hang back at your 4 yards, and when it's your blitz, it's like you're shot out of a cannon and go.
And credit Vines, though. He's done a very good job being patient with the snap count, not being too predictable, and recognizing they're showing it.
How were the snap count calls last night in your game? Were there a lot of offsides?
There were a lot of false starts from both sides. Ours was a very sloppy, penalized game as Vines keeps this one. Let that ball go a little bit. Now pitches it. Lynch waiting there. Makes one man miss. Ducks under a couple. As the Hatters playing a little risky right now with the option. And excuse me, that was Deontay Vines as the brothers ran the option.
I'm not certain I wouldn't have just gone down there and taken the 1.5 that I got.
Instead, they lose 2 and bring up a 3rd and 8 situation. Be interesting to see what the call is as Jordan Kuth has checked in for Vines. So we are getting a look at a different quarterback here on 3rd and long, John.
Is he more of a throwing threat?
Have to assume that might be the call here with the pistol twins open look.
Receiver far outside to the top of the screen. You got to think he's coming in.
Looking to his right, throws out there for the comeback. Trying to come up with it was Crandall, but unable to make the catch on the sideline. So it will be 4th down now for the Hatters. Feels like it's cooled down a little bit. Maybe it's because we're standing next to the fan.
I'm going to chalk it up to us standing next to a fan.
Have not seen too many cramps yet. Most of the players still hanging in there. A.J. Simonowski was wondering how Stanford could go with the all-black look on opening weekend at this afternoon as Vines into punt. End-over-end kick. Lands at the 48, and it'll roll out before it is picked up and taken down there by Sean Parkinson.
I'm not sure that wouldn't have gone a little bit further.
And we have got flags coming in from several angles as it looked like there might have been a hit behind the play.
Yeah, it's a personal foul, and it is on Stanford.
It was an unnecessary late hit, so this one we can tack 15 more on. We saw a couple personal foul penalties last night too, but it's Mike Suppy did a great job of just referring to this. It's opening weekend. You don't have that full discipline yet. The emotions are high.
Oh,
you're
back.
Amped up.
You can't wait to hit somebody in a different uniform.
And that's exactly it. You can only hit someone on your own team so many times throughout the preseason.
Exactly. Now, for those who don't know, I coach at Fairfield Ludlow. Have coached at Platt Tech, Fairfield Prep. And last night in our loss, a lot of penalties, a lot of offsides against Newark, defensive offsides, lining up offsides even, a handful of personal fouls. But to get back to, we talked a little bit about the heat and the black uniforms. The officials there told us ahead of time, we're going to stretch some of the timeouts and the in-between quarters.
Duncan rolling to his right, looking out in the flats, can't get rid of it. It looked like he might have had Collazo open, but instead goes down for the sack.
And is that him staying down?
Looks like it is. Now trying to get to his feet. They did stop play for him, so he will have to go out for one play, John.
He tried to wave the coach and trainer off. He has no choice. Once they stop the clock, you're off. Now, here is where you would they would sneak a water break in. but they're not going to do it here.
Stanford maybe consider using a timeout here. 7:40 left to go. You've already used one today.
Is he back on the field? Because they can't.
We'll see when they break the huddle here.
Another man short.
And short, and it'll be Collazo who comes in. Nope, it's Aaron Danilfo, the receiver, and they are going to end up having to use a timeout here, John. Little miscommunication. Duncan will be eligible to go back in. As we're taking a look down there now. 7:12 to play in the second quarter.
It's tough when your quarterback goes down. You've got somebody who he probably has 2 or 3 other jobs. He's not just there staying loose on the sideline unless you've got a roster 50-some deep.
And especially now with so many teams running those spread systems, the backup quarterbacks are usually used to help signal in plays or personnel with all that stuff.
All the boards and posters and charts and hand signals. Well, somebody yells, "Keep right," and that's the call.
So 7:12 to go in the second quarter. Much different feel to today's game from last night. Slower pace, not a lot of passing compared to, we thought we would see Marquise Woods maybe have 20 touches in the first half last night. McElroy came out and threw about 30 passes over 20 yards.
Yeah, and we have not seen the ball put up a lot this afternoon. Three times? I was going to say 3 or 4.
3 passing attempts. And we are 1 for 3 with that completion going to Stanford. As they stay without Duncan, though. Trips to the right into the boundary. Offset left is Diaz as Danilfo.
And a false start there. The timing is totally off.
As we try to get an eye on Duncan on the sideline. Looks
I
like
think
he
he's
might be under that tent.
He's under that tent getting checked. I think.
So with the penalty, it will set up second and about 19 now.
And it's not a good place to be second and 19 because the shadow of the goalpost rapidly approaching the back of your neck here.
They're inside the 15-yard line. Danilfo still the quarterback. Trips in the boundary, Diaz to the left. Drops back to pass. Going to try to throw the fade out there, and it will not reach his target of Richard Scott as that one came up well short.
And Richard Scott, a big target there. He is 6'2", well, he looks taller than that. 6'2", 165.
And interesting to put the trips into the boundary and try to throw the fade from the hash to the far side of the field.
You're trying to isolate your tall athlete is what you're trying to do. But
with the backup quarterback, as we see, it looks like Duncan coming back in.
Yeah, that's it.
Unless that's Freckle. Well, why not put the trips to the field and keep that tall receiver in the boundary, give the backup quarterback a shorter throw for that first one at least?
I don't disagree there.
So it'll be third and almost a mile now.
The only thing I could think of is if you're giving receiver choice, if it's a choice route type of thing where he's free to run where he sees green.
Duncan back in. It's an empty set. Dropping back, design draw play as he runs up the middle. And closing in quickly are the Hatters defenders before he gets back just shy of the original line of scrimmage. But the Knights will be forced to punt again as fourth down comes up. Not a surprising play call there, John.
No. It is you want a good punt here, and you can minimize the damage.
And more importantly, you just bought Lavris an extra 10 yards to work with on this punt versus standing in his end zone now. He can catch it at the 10-yard line.
Psychologically, such a difference.
Had a much better punt on the second attempt. This one a high snap. Lavris plenty of time. Comes up. No rugby this time. Spiral kick, well done, takes a fortuitous Stanford bounce, and it will roll all the way down to the Hatters' 21-yard line.
That's flipping the field if you're a punter. That you bought space there. Line drive kick, kind of wobbly, kind of tough to return. You can't really get under that and field that. And I would have gotten a little bit farther away from it than Augusto did.
Looked like he might have considered taking it off the hop, trying to minimize the damage, but altogether that is a 60-yard punt for Stanford. So we've seen both ends of the spectrum from Lavis today, working from 4, climbing his way up to 60 now.
I know. His average is 32 now. He'll be all FCAC at that.
So the Hatters come back on offense, leading 7-0 here, 5:50 remaining in the half. I formation, twins open.
Both teams spreading it out a little bit. You haven't seen Danbury get back in that tight double wing in some time.
Going on 2, are they? Vines dropping back to pass. Spins away from one rusher, now going inside.
Good pressure.
Coming from the defensive tackle position there was Enrique Montoya. As the junior bolted inside through the coverage, forced the issue right away as Vines dropped back to looking to pass for the second time today.
That was great pressure brought by Stamford.
Ends up as a loss of 3 on the play. 2nd and 13 coming up. Back to the double flanker, double wing set.
There we go.
Vines barking out signals. Augusto in motion. Dropping back to pass. They're going to throw a screen out to the left side. Crandall there. Steps inside. Works to the right side before he's finally run down from behind by Matthew Doyle.
And leaving the field again, Antonio Robinson after losing his helmet.
A lot of helmets lost early on in this game.
He was the one earlier.
There was another one as well. It's happened twice now. We also had a 3 times now, including
3 times, but twice was Robinson.
We had a defensive lineman as well. 4:30 to go, 3rd and 4 coming up. I like that play call, getting Vines a completion there, getting Crandall a touch out in space as well.
I agree.
Same formation, split far up to the top side there is R.J. Hopkins. And yep, they jumped. That was Scott Moreau who jumped through right into the neutral zone there. Of course, there's no chance to get back in the high school level.
No chance to get back, and that's going to be a first down for Danbury. You had 3rd and long, reasonably long, and you give them a gift first down because you jump on motion. And that's another reason that the double wing or double wing even with the X's out, why that offense is attractive, because the motion can really mess with people like we just saw there.
They come back in the formation again. Thomas, Augusto, and Lynch in the backfield. Vines under center. Crandall is out. It's Parkinson in at receiver. The give to Thomas up the gut. Finds a hole, jumps over one man, rolls over the safety, and climbs up for a first down. Ball came free, but they will say it was after he had been down. Nice run from the fullback, John.
The man he jumped over kind of dove to try to make an ankle tackle as opposed to the tackle that we saw from Lavris early on.
And that seems to be the trend now with a lot of secondary coaches. The Seahawks are notorious for it, that wrap up around the waist and knee area and try to roll them over. Only works, though, when you bring your arms and try to wrap up versus
Correct.
going full dive bomb at the ankles.
Well, and you've got to wrap higher on the body. You can't just grab the...
They got him again. And one more time, it was Moreau.
And it was the motion this time back toward him as opposed to away from him. But you've got to be more disciplined. You should be watching the ball. And when the ball moves, you move. You shouldn't be watching the backfield or listening to the cadence.
So 1st and 5, Augusto in motion, the pitch out to him. Coming up quickly there was Doyle, along with the help of Freckleton as they blew that one up.
And that's why he was jumping on the motion, because they were anticipating that pitch that they just hunted down for a 4-yard loss.
And we saw Freckleton there reaching for the toes. Looked like his calves might have been starting to cramp up a little bit here with 2:35 left to play here in the first half of what has been a very quick first half from Boyle Stadium here on the HAN Network. Opening weekend coverage We'll have an update at halftime, hopefully from the Darien St. Joe's game that's kicked off. We've got Trinity, New Canaan, and Greenwich at West Hill coming up at the 3 o'clock hour. Lynch in motion, takes the jet sweep, coming up to make a play there, but wrapped down from behind. As Moreau chased him down there, and he was helped by Rabushi, who stepped up from the safety position. 3rd and 11 now with under 2 minutes to go. Stanford 1 timeout left, probably don't want to use it as they get ready for a 2-minute drill. We'll see how much time Danbury gives them.
But Stanford here really redeeming itself, the defense, for those mistakes. They gave Danbury 10 yards. I think they've taken 15 back.
And they've done a much better job. We've seen jet motion. We've seen those toss sweeps. They've done a much better job of forcing the issue at the edge, not allowing these quick Hatters running backs out into space.
They've sniffed out what's going to happen. They're just anticipating it.
3rd and 11, 1:20 to go. Vines under center, barking out signals, drops back to pass. He wants to throw it for Crandall. Looking up top, and it is just out of the reach of Charles Razor. Might not be the worst thing, though.
Razor's better off having not caught that. I was going to say the same thing.
1:13, and you force a Hatters punt to come now with 4th and 12 looming. This might be the first time today, though, John, we see an offense try to throw it around a little bit.
I think you are going to see some vertical patterns finally here.
Finds the punter. Pressure coming. Gets it off a high spiraling kick. Poisonous call picked up. Nope. They're going to let it roll all the way out. And it will finally come to rest at the 4-yard line. Very good kick from Vines right there.
All right, 96 yards. Now you know you're going to see some vertical routes.
Danbury has all 3 timeouts, which forces the issue for Stanford of not being able to just run the clock out. They do get the ball to start the second half. But let's talk about that return situation there. It was Antonio Robinson, who was deep, took that big bounce, sort of rolled out. He may have had a chance to stop that one. Down around that territory where you're pushing up towards the 10-yard line, do you try to just find a way to fall on that, or do you have to let it go?
Honestly, I think with the and I'd love to see a replay on that. With the hang time, you almost think you would have had time to get under it and call the fair catch. That's what you want your returner to do. And he could have saved them 15, 20 yards there. We don't have hang time for Pregame.
Duncan standing in his own end zone. The give is to Freckleton. Hits the hole inside, climbing up the ladder. Does he have enough for a first down? Looks like he might be just short. We'll see how much urgency the Black Knights go with 53 seconds remaining.
That's a good call there because they're going to have to play back on their heels, anticipating the long ball.
No huddle look. Duncan waiting for the referee's signal. Takes the snap. They give this time to Diaz. Hits the hole inside, has the first down, but he is tripped up over an errant foot. And taking their final timeout with 36 seconds to go are the Black Knights. I don't know if you want to take your timeout there, John.
I think you left yourself in a position that you had no choice. That's why I was surprised at the give the second consecutive play.
And that's my mistake there. They had already earned the first down. I thought that picked up the first down there, which was why I hesitated on that timeout.
Right. No, they got the first down on the first give, and they got 6 yards on the second, but he got tripped up early. And you did leave yourself no choice but stop the clock.
So 36 seconds. You've got the ball on your own 20-yard line.
And Danbury can full bore back off into pass coverage now because Stanford's got no choice but throw the ball. Or you're going to run it and let the clock run. They run one play and take it to the half, and it's 7-0, and you're in a real good football game, hard-nosed, hard-running football game, getting the ball for the third quarter. So running one play here and taking it to the half, if Danbury lets you, that's the other specter. 2 timeouts left for Danbury. 3, I'm sorry, you're right.
So Duncan with 2x2 Diaz to his left, drops back to Pax. Look left, they set up the screen in the middle. Diaz catches there, bounces off the wimpy tackler. Now climbing the field, sidesteps one man. He's got time and space. Diaz down the sideline, gets a big block there. One man to beat. Can Diaz get there? Steps on the brakes. How you doing? Touchdown, Black Knights.
Danbury is screaming for a flag on that block at midfield. It was from the front and side, but almost looked like there was an arm extended on it. Close call. They let it go. And we're a PAT away from a tie ball game.
Rumble, young man, rumble. It is a 81-yard screenplay to the house, and we are one play away from being tied up. You're right. Love the screen call.
Great call. Great call, because you knew they were going to hang back, throw it underneath them, and let your blockers develop. And they did. He had a number of blocks on that.
And a really good job by Diaz absorbing that first blow. They're going to have too many men on the field here, it looks like. Kick is good. I take that back. They had the right number, but while he was counting to make sure of that, they went ahead and snapped without him. A lone wing there. We'll take a quick break here, but we'll be back with the final 17 seconds of the first half. Knotted up at 7 from Boyle Stadium.
Nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
I'm Frank Renito. And I'm Donald. I'm Frank Renito. And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Wednesday, where we bring you all the top stories for
closer to Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Boyle Stadium. Tied up at 7 now. Martinez up for the kickoff. 81-yard screen pass. This one a high end-over-end kick fielded by Crandall at the 5. Working to his right, steps aside one man. Almost lost the ball, but he crosses over the 20-yard line and will be down with 10 seconds to play at the 23. Taking it. I do agree with that. We've seen the speed on display already by the Hatters. But a good kick from Crandall, end over end, up in the air, down to the 5.
Yeah, I mean, tenuous at best ball security on the return. I mean, that could have been dangerous.
Seems to have been the case for both teams today. That
got to extend the arm, get that extra
high and
6
tight
inches.
Has not been
high and
carried
loose.
over from
high
the
and loose
preseason.
does not work.
They've got Kuth in at quarterback. We've seen him throw early on today. We'll see if the Hatters try one more heave right before the half. Dropping back to pass. He's looking right the whole way. Now flushed out of the pocket, rolling to his left. Trying to buy time. Kuth's going to have to run. 2-1. Time has run out. Stood up and brought down a nice tackle there from Jake Heerman as we hit halftime here from Boyle Stadium. Back and forth half. Little scoring, but it has not been anything but exciting.
Something to watch here. It's a little thing, but Augusto, as soon as the buzzer sounded and the whistle blew on it, took his helmet off, was doubled over, and now he's kind of kneeling. He's a little tired out there, I think, or at least indicating such.
The heat will obviously continue to be a factor throughout the afternoon. We'll take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a short bit. We'll have halftime recap and get ready for the second half right here on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
At In Sports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, In Sports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Players have access to soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball and softball, field hockey, rugby, basketball, volleyball, and social game facilities. In Sports has also launched an early childhood development program, a daycare and pre-K program all rolled into one. Don't miss out on the fun. Find out more at insportscenters.com or call 203-268-1214.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. And you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
At Mex on Main, Trumbull's very own Mexican Grill, we're all about fresh, fast, and friendly service. Our Main Street restaurant offers the best in traditional and non-traditional Mexican dishes, with only the best ingredients, never frozen. From authentic burritos, fajitas, quesadillas, and salads, we have something on the menu for everyone in the family. And enjoy our open salsa bar, giving you more ways to customize your meal. Stop in for lunch or dinner at 6528 Main Street, Trumbull, or find out more at mexonmain.com.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
I'm a filthy rich executive. I hear the market's down 1,000,000 points. I freak out. I spill my large espresso. The searing pain makes me slam on the brakes. Uh-oh, your fault. And your cut rate insurance may not cover my $90,000 car, so I sue you, because that's what I do. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Wednesday, where we bring you all the top stories for Connecticut sports.
From players and coaches' interviews to expert opinions with local sports editors, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher.
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. More than 1.5 million viewers have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment broadcasting since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
At In Sports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, In Sports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Players have access to soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball and softball, field hockey, rugby, basketball, volleyball, and social game facilities. In Sports has also launched an early childhood development program, a daycare and pre-K program all rolled into one. Don't miss out on the fun. Find out more at insportscenters.com or call 203-268-1214.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. And you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Welcome back to Boyle Stadium for the HAN Network's opening weekend coverage here. Frank Granito and John Kovach on the call as we have been watching Danbury and Stamford. It is tied 7-7 at the half thanks to an 81-yard screen pass with about 10 seconds to go there, John.
What a great call. You knew they were going to play back Danbury's defense, anticipating the long pass. You throw it underneath. You let a wall of blockers materialize. And 81 yards later, we've got a tie ball game.
And it was a great effort from Diaz bouncing off several tacklers as he made his way down the field. But it was coming out of the timeout. You get that sense, okay, it's got to be a pass. Everyone's focusing on receivers, and then they come back, dump it inside to the screen. You're right, a great call. Right now in action, Darien is on top of St. Joe's 20-7. But you've got a couple scores from what went on last night. Why don't you keep us up to date there?
I do. Opening weekend across the state here. In the FCAC last night, Norwalk beating Fairfield Ludlow, that in Fairfield, 41-19. Staples over McMahon, 38-13. Wilton going into overtime to beat Fairfield Ward, 31-14. And a game that you had on the HAN Network Friday night, Ridgefield rallying for a 46-33 win over Trumbull, that up at Tiger Hollow. Quite the game.
It was unbelievable. 29 unanswered points to finish it, coming back from the 17-point halftime deficit. It was really a great game to be a part of and such a special game to have for opening night. Outside of the FCAC, what else do we have going on?
Well, you've got some FCAC games today. We've got 2 3 o'clock kicks, Greenwich at West Hill, Trinity Catholic at New Canaan. That a game moved from Trinity Catholic because their stadium's not ready. And we talked about Darien up 20-7 at St. Joe's. In the SCC last night, Cheshire edging North Haven. I think that's a mild upset if you want my opinion. 24-21. And Fairfield Prep with a 26-20 overtime victory over Daniel Hand up in Madison. Wilbur Cross tops foreign out of Milford, 40-21. Also in the SCC, Branford over Lyman Hall, 27-12. East Haven over Sheehan, 35-27. And Guilford tops Law, 41-34. A lot of high-scoring, close games in the SCC last night.
Not a lot of defense here opening weekend. I agree. I think that is an upset over North Haven, a defending state runner-up. I truly believe they were the third best team in the state last year after falling against New Canaan in what was a great game, but there was a lot of action going on last night.
In the Southwest Conference, Massica over Stratford, 49-7. Pomerog over Joel Barlow, 18-13. Bunnell topping Bethel, 47-6. New Milford tops Weston, 41-13. Newtown blanks New Fairfield, 34-0. Today, 2:30 kickoff in Fairfield, Brookfield at Notre Dame.
So we'll take one more break here quickly before the start of the second half. When we get back, the Black Knights set to receive as the Hatters will kick it off for the third quarter right here on the HAN Network.
At Mex on Main, Trumbull's very own Mexican Grill, we're all about fresh, fast, and friendly service. Our Main Street restaurant offers the best in traditional and non-traditional Mexican dishes with only the best ingredients, never frozen. From authentic burritos, fajitas, quesadillas, and salads, we have something on the menu for everyone in the family. And enjoy our open salsa bar, giving you more ways to customize your meal. Stop in for lunch or dinner at 6528 Main Street, Trumbull, or find out more at mexonmain.com.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. More than 1.5 million viewers have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment broadcasting since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back from Boyle Stadium here on the HAN Network, Frank Granito and John Kovach standing up in the booth today with AJ Simonowski and Eric Gendron. Hatters getting set to kick off the third quarter here. Wearing the white on blues with the orange helmets. They're defending the school to start the second half. The Black Knights in all black will defend Holcomb Street.
Darien's put another one on the board, 27-7 over St. Joe's.
Here comes the kick. This one end over end, down around the 10-yard line. Miscommunication. Going back to field it, now picking up as there's a big collision there. Stepping to his right, working all the way up, and finally ripped down is Dylan Fife. But it looked like there was some miscommunication there between Fife and Freckleton, John, as to who was going to field that ball.
Nobody took it. Somebody had to go back and get it. And then I won't even call that a block. That was just a huge collision. And then big hits on the tackle. It's like that rest might have been just at the right time for some of these guys.
And the cardinal rule for kick return, if you are not in the last row, you never take a step back. Looked like Freckleton thought about going back, and Fife had a tough read off that one. Nevertheless, no love lost. They make it out to the 20, so should be all right as they start the third quarter here.
Got room to work with, and they know they can move the ball. They've had success with this almost reminiscent of the old Full House backfield.
The give to Freckleton, heading to his left, cuts back to the right, sidesteps several defenders, now working towards the sideline as he's wrestled down outside the hash marks after a gain of about 7.
He moves laterally very well, does Freckleton. He stays square to the line, but can make those cuts. He doesn't turn and make it. He dodges more than anything else. It sets himself up to get more yardage.
And he does a very good job of reading off his blocks, very patient in the holes, and climbing up to the next level. We have not seen much tempo from the Black Knights since the Duncan injury back in the second quarter.
I don't know that I would if I needed to, given as hot as it is.
And we talked about how players at the end of that first half just looking completely gassed as Duncan on the keeper here, sidesteps one man, wrestled down at the top of the numbers, as it looks like he maybe just got back over the line of scrimmage.
It's a big 3 yards. You want to set a tone if you defer.
And the first down is always the toughest one to get at the start of a half. It will be third and a long 2, short 3, depending on what sideline you're standing on here with 10:30 to play. Already 90 seconds run off here to start the quarter. Pistol Queens, the give up the gut to Diaz. Met in the hole, runs through a couple tacklers, still driving his feet. Looks like they're going to give him enough as he crossed that 30-yard line and will pick up a first down.
That was a good spot. That you've got to make it by more than that. You left it in the hands of or the eyes of the officials, more accurately. You've got to leave no doubt on that.
Diaz checks out. Coming in to replace him is Collazo, so we could see some 10 personnel with forward wide right here. Very rare in high school football these days to see two teams that both huddle.
Yes, that is very true.
2-by-2 set. Freckleton offset in the backfield to the right. The give is inside to him. He's met in the middle by Vines, but a flag comes flying in from behind. Looks like it might have been a hold.
That's where those flags tend to land.
It's actually a chop block, a chop block, illegal block below the waist. Chop block, obviously one man is engaged high. That second guy comes in below the knees. One of the more, not always intentional, it can happen inadvertently, but one of the more dangerous plays in all of football.
I would almost like to see, and having played as a lineman, I almost want to see anything below the waist eliminated. Let all the blocks be above the waist from, say, the shoulders to the waist, the shoulders to the belt.
Me being a skill guy, when I got to college, I couldn't wait to get to cut block
right,
as a receiver.
Because you got to cut block everybody on the out. Because some poor guy's in his backpedaling, you're diving at his shins.
You're telling me I didn't have to stand up and try to block guys anymore. Duncan from the gun, dropping back, steps up into the pocket, and he is met by several of the D linemen of the Hatters as it is whistled very quickly. Leading the charge was Big Ben Bueno as he wrapped up Duncan for what would be a 2-yard loss.
And that's just such a huge penalty, that chop. I mean, it moved him back. You're now second and 25, third and 25, second and 25.
It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Now you tack on the sack. It's looking like second and about almost 22 now, 23. So 2-by-2 set still as Diaz is out. Duncan dropping back, looking over the middle. He's got a man wide open, making the catch there. Now working to his left side. Finally wrestled down. No. Makes another man miss. Jumps back inside. A useful play there.
On the seam, beats the coverage, finds the gap wide open.
R.J. Hopkins was the man who chased him down from behind. 2nd and 25, no big deal. They come back and pick up 40. They need the clock to move here as we've got some miscommunication here. They're going to let time run off to get it right, but Danbury comes with the blitz. Good job by Duncan there, John, stepping up, looking down the scene, and finding his man.
Great call. Again, deep in their own territory.
Pistol Kings here, Twins to the bottom. They motion across, and the give is inside to Diaz, who's back in the game. Jumping to his left after the initial blow. And he is good for about, looks like 4 yards on that carry, bring up 2nd down and 6. They go back to the gun formation with the 2 backs here, John. Twins open out of the shotgun.
This formation's been good to them.
Freckleton inside. Makes his way through the original line of scrimmage before he's wrapped up into a big pile there.
Yeah.
Several players still slow to get up. And the Heat might start be making a big impression on these players with just under 7 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Would you think about going no huddle but not hurry up just to save them the walk back to the huddle? Just go to the line and just wait for the call to come in?
You could realistically do that, especially since we haven't seen Duncan relaying back and forth from the sideline anymore either. They're signaling into him at the huddle. Try the dummy call there. No one taking the bait. And now a timeout on 3rd and 5 taken by the Black Knights. We will take it with them with 6:31 to play, 7-7 here from Boyle Stadium on the HAN network.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
We are back on the HAN network from Boyle Stadium. A crucial 3rd down coming up for Black Knights, John, on the plus 42. 3rd and 5. The give to Diaz. Running on that right side, following blockers. Makes his way through the original hole. Steps off one man. Big block there. Diaz tiptoes the sideline. Touchdown. What a block by John Oliver. 2 defenders. Diaz picks up his 2nd score.
The daily double there just annihilated 2 blockers. But behind the play, I'm reasonably certain that's Duncan being stretched right now with cramps way behind the play. But what a run by Terrell Diaz.
There's the brute strength of pushing on the defender. He got to that 2nd level. There probably is a corner in the FCAC who could try and tackle him above the waist.
Nobody get close to him with blocks like Alvarian.
But an unbelievable run, a huge play on 3rd down. So with 6:19 to go, the lead 13-7 now as the Heat takes its toll. And again, cramps becoming an issue.
And I think that's going to continue to be the case.
Oh, no, excuse me. That's Freckle, John.
Oh, Freckleton?
6, not 5.
Ah, my mistake.
So that brings out Shane Brady to attempt the PAT. He is 1 for 1 today. Good. So with 6:19 to go, it is 14-7 in favor of the Black Knights. We'll step aside and be right back on the HAN Network.
And hope for the shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Odor, beach bum, fish,
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m.
We are back here on the HAN Network, live from Boyle Stadium. John, you just got another update. Darien now leading 34-7 over St. Joe's. So the Blue Wave coming out strong to start the season. But the story here for the last 12 minutes of play has been Tyrell Diaz. As this one a high, short kick fielded by Hopkins at the 25. Tries to cut across, now splits back to the left side, and he is finally wrestled down at the 40-yard line.
I thought he had room to work with there. I thought he had a seam and a lane. Get there.
Like that Black Knight logo right in the middle of the field kind of got stuck up along the hash. What does Danbury have to do right now, John? And that's you think about it. That's a 6-minute drive that the Black Knights had to start that half.
That's
to start
long.
the half. This is a long time off for this Hatters offense.
They've got to get back in sync real quick, and as we talked about earlier, they run long break hurt them. I mean, time-wise, it's probably been 45 minutes to an hour since they've taken a snap.
So Vines from the pistol. The give inside to Thomas, working to the right side there. Thomas bowls off several defenders, spinning his way up for about 12 yards. Good enough for a first down.
Put your big bruiser in the back and just smash at the middle of the defense, and it's going to be who's man enough to stop it, who's man enough to weather the conditions.
And as difficult as the tempo and these upbeat no-huddle offenses can be, it's kind of encroachment. As all that can be, one of the worst things you could do in 100-degree heat when you are just fatigued and run down, cramping, is have to tackle a 220-pound running back.
Mm-hmm. And it's just going to cause more guys to cramp.
John, there's also an issue we have actually mentioned at Stamford. Taking that Pompey picks up about 10 yards. He's got a first down. But Holbrook, a key player on this defense and a leader of this team, injured in the preseason. He'll be out for a couple weeks.
And how much have they missed him today? I mean, the defense has looked pretty good, though. They just stop there.
On here from Danbury, setting the tone. They've moved the ball over 30 yards now in just under a minute and a half. Vines in the gun and offside again as the blitz mistimed.
Give them free yards right now. You're running out of real estate.
It looks like the Hatters players are trying to catch their wind right now. Some of those secondary guys, as you've got Fabio De Oliveira and Jack Pompey in the backfield with Vine. Vine, the two-handed pitch out to the left. Pompey steps to his right. He'll have
assignment football against the option, and that looked like it broke down there as you had 2 playing 1 and nobody playing the quarterback.
And it's a credit to the block on the outside. The pitch man never able to get up, so Vine has got the player from the defense having to choose what to do. Makes the pitch, and credit Pompey. The sophomore getting some action, and he's paying it off right now. 2 first downs on his last 2 runs. Whistles come in as Vine was looking to set up the passing play.
5 more free yards for Danbury.
And everything that you had done successfully on that Black Knight offensive drive is being nullified right now.
Absolutely going away.
Pistol Kings. Vine fakes the give. They come back to the same place. Stepping up under pressure, and he is wrapped up by several of those D linemen and brought down. Maybe lost one as they were trying to find Crandall on the post route at the bottom of your screen.
But they had him for 4 and let him escape the tackle.
5. Still following that, second down and 6 following the sack and the offside penalty. Pistol Kings this time of the field and offside again as the mental mistakes continue to mount here.
And I'm watching just a frustrated on the Stamford sideline as mistimed blitzes just keep giving Danbury free yards.
And this is probably a smart timeout taken now by the Black Knights as it looks like the fatigue may be influencing some of the poor decisions.
Well, fatigue, and I think you've got to tell your defense, just calm down and do your jobs. They're jumpy.
Run the blitz. Run the blitz once the play is snapped.
Right.
We don't need to jump it perfectly every time. We can still get there. Especially when they're not throwing the ball, it doesn't need to be a quick blitz that hits. You're going against the option. Let your guys get blocked and free you up.
Right. You've got it. You can read the option in reverse. The quarterback's reading where there's space and who's the unblocked, who's being blocked. You can read it backwards and close it that way.
That was the that is the 4th offside penalty of this drive by the Black Knights defense.
That's 20 free yards. That's
20 free yards, 2 of them resulted in first downs.
And 1st and goal now inside the 9.
Pistol Kings. Fine. Give to the fullback. Gaining nothing as he stumbles down there. It was Liam Jacobson.
The snap hurt that one. The snap was low.
That's what it is all predicated off of timing.
Correct.
You've got to have a clean give, and that snap being down low messes that up.
Right. Davion Vines has to almost lean over to field the snap. He can't make a clean handoff.
And Liam Jacobson is trying to slow up his momentum when he needs to hit that hole as hard as he can. Vines in the gun. This time the gives to Pompey. Finds a seam up the middle. We've got a flag coming in late. This could be on Danbury again.
This looks like it is in the
excuse me, I meant to say on Stanford. Nope. Got a block. It's a block in the back. As one of the linemen must have gotten hooked and tried to readjust to find him there. But we saw a lot of that last night from Ridgefield in the first half. They got into the red zone, and penalties just killed them, kept backing them up. They wasted several opportunities because penalties forced them back to the 20-yard, and you had 1st and goal from the 20 now.
Were they discipline penalties or were they procedural penalties?
It was a combination. You had a little bit of everything mixed in there.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that game, which you can see on the HAN Network website, han.network on demand.
So more cramps coming here. The water bottles are jogged out to the players. 2:42 left to play, 14-7. in favor of the Black Knights. The Hatters struck first when Augusto took one in from 25 yards out on the toss sweep. Since then, it has been the Tyrell Diaz show. He scored on an 81-yard mid-screen to end the first half with 18 seconds left, tie this at 7. Following the 5-minute, 50-second drive, Diaz wrapped that one up with the 35-yard power play off the right tackle.
And that was such a beautiful run, and I'll be watching that block over and over again.
What
Just
a great
beautiful.
block. John Alverson.
And did it without violence. They're looking at those peel-back blocks, which he didn't do, but they really want to outlook block where you're going downfield, put on the brakes, and come back.
And that was one of the issues that Danbury had with the first Diaz touchdown. They thought one of the receivers downfield really came back, cracked down on one of the defenders chasing him. I thought it was a good no call, though. Didn't look too violent, and it wasn't true contact at the shoulder to the upper chest. So second and goal from the 17. Vines to throw. He's going up top for Chandler. It's intercepted in the end zone. Taking a knee. Well done, Charles Razor. He didn't have to stretch out too far for that one as the underthrow lands in the Black Knights' lap.
Has to be receiver at the boundary so it can't be intercepted.
If you are going to miss any kind of throw like that down to the end zone, then you have got to miss it out of bounds. It's the receiver catches it or no one else. But that's one of the tough parts of being an option type quarterback. You don't get to throw that off.
You didn't need all that at once.
And it's tough. It comes back to a Danbury penalty that really stops the drive. Duncan dropping back, wanted the real route, not there. Now he spins away from one man, working towards the sideline, trying to throw away. Diving back to mid.
Good effort by Collazo, and he looked back, saw his quarterback in trouble, altered his route, shortened it significantly, and just tried to find somewhere where he could help his quarterback. The good thing there is just his presence prevents an intentional grounding call.
The referees are discussing this now. They will say it is incomplete. Credit Collazo on the effort, almost getting back to that one. But it will bring up second down and 10 now. A minute 53 left to play in the third quarter. 3:06 is the time. We'll have an update as to whether or not Greenwich, West Hill, and New Canaan Trinity have kicked off at the start of the fourth quarter. Back to this two-back set in the gun. Twins to the left. The give to Freckleton. Tripped for a second, able to recover. And then he is whipped down after a gain of about 1, which will bring up a long 3rd and 9 situation.
And according to Scott Erickson, first play from scrimmage, West Hill sacks the Greenwich quarterback in the end zone, 2-0 West Hill early on.
Just like that, year 2 of the Johnny Marinelli era is underway. And you know what? West Hill was a team that was not getting a lot of respect coming into this game. I'm not above that. I thought that the Cardinals would win big, but they are a very capable Viking team.
Yes, they are.
The give inside to Diaz. He runs into a wall of Hatters. And finally the whistles blow as this will bring up 4th down and 10.
That counter was mistimed in the other direction. It was actually early, almost to the point of illegal movement.
That will force out the punt unit now with the clock running down here to the final 50 seconds of the third quarter. Very slow pace to this game, and that seems to be the tempo that both these teams can play at right now in this heat.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how Greenwich, that wants to come out and come at you at 150 miles an hour, how they're going to do in this. Now they're in white, I've read. West Hill in all purple.
They didn't go neon this game?
No, but they do have special red, white, and blue helmets.
Those did look pretty good, actually. I saw a picture of those.
They did look good. So did the Sacred Heart ones.
Sacred Heart ones were awesome, and it's a fake here, trying to get off the outside, and coming up nowhere near the first down marker was Lavris. Tough to tell if he called his own number or not, and we've got another player down with cramps.
Hoping that's cramps.
He might be holding his knee. We'll step aside here with 13 seconds to go. We'll be back with the final play of the third quarter right after this on the HAN Network.
I'm a filthy rich executive. I hear the market's down 1,000,000 points. I freak out. I spill my large espresso. The searing pain makes me slam on the brakes. Uh-oh, your fault. And your cut rate insurance may not cover my $90,000 car, so I sue you, because that's what I do. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Look at Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. More than 1.5 million viewers have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment broadcasting since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches
Back here on the HAN Network from Boyle Stadium, it is Danbury and Stamford. Danbury with the best starting field position of the day. Lynch in motion, takes the jet sweep. He's got a seam. For a moment, though, he reaches out.
Heads being shaken here in the booth after that fake punt that ended Stamford's last possession. Do you think he did it on his own, or was that he tucked quick?
It's tough to tell. The coaching staff made it look like it might have been a rogue fake. But speaking of ending, that brings us to the end of the third quarter. The only score, the 35-yard dash from Diaz, 14-7 in favor of the Black Knights here on the HAN Network. We'll take a quick break as they flip sides on the field and be right back after this.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m.
Start here at Boyle Stadium. Frank Renito and John Kovacs for the HAN Network in a 14-7 game that has been very tight from the start. Stamford on top of Danbury right now. 2nd and 7 coming up. Lynch in motion. Fake the pitch. He countered back to Augusto. Jumps inside following the block of Titus James, and he is up to about the 12-yard line for the first down. First time we've seen the B counter, Johnny.
But that was a thing of beauty the way that was run. Danbury on a short field after a fake punt on 4th and 10 gets back to the original line of scrimmage and really cuts a lot of field off for the Danbury Hatters.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Pistol formation. Give to Augusto. Jumping inside, heading for the goal line. Good job by that Stamford defense, standing him up right at the line.
Football's a battle of wills, and that was a real example of it.
And that was Diaz in there on the tackle for the Black Knights as he heads off the field. And that is a mammoth of a high schooler looking at Tyrell Diaz.
Score out of the CSC, Justin. O'Brien Tech starts the season with a win, 28-6 over Wilcox Tech. Nick Apria really trying to turn that team around at O'Brien.
Second and goal from the 1. From the pistol set, give to Augusto, and he is wrapped up back around the 3-yard line. Interesting call staying in the pistol there, John, from the half-yard line.
Very interesting. I don't know that I don't stay in that double wing. I don't know that I don't bring my flankers in, pack the box, and just let's have a fist fight and see who wins.
Well, they had a similar situation early on with the 4th down and having to need about that much, and Vines got them almost 10 yards on it. Surprised they didn't go back to the sneak.
Right, and now you're 3rd and goal from the 3. You've lost a couple of yards. You're lengthening the field on yourself.
Do you think this is 4-down territory, or will we see the field goal unit on 4th?
Oh, I think you have to.
Bumped into his own man, Vibes, dining for the goal line. No signal yet. They're going to say he is fumbled the football. Stanford recovers in the end zone. It is a touchback.
Vine got airborne and took a huge hit and lost the handle.
Hatters coaching staff is pleading, and they're going to pick up a flag right now. Pleading, saying that he was reaching out over the goal line. It is Coach Trasico.
Getting 15 for unsportsmanlike, so that is going to give Stanford the ball coming out at the 35. What a turnaround in just an instant.
2 times the Hatters have got the football inside the 10-yard line, and they have come away with 0 points.
And that's exactly what he's insisting, is that Vines reached out and had broken the plane with the football. You have an official on either pylon watching that. There was never an indication of touchdown. So there was some question on possession when the plane was broken.
So 9:46 to play. 1st and 10 now for the Black Knights with a 7-point lead and a chance to eat up a lot more clock. We saw them in a 5-minute drive to start the 3rd quarter. Let's see what they do in the 4th as they give to Diaz. Bouncing to the outside through the arms of one tackler, and it takes about 3 Hatters to bring him down, which it did there.
And Stanford, I think, would be wise to just stay in this set and keep doing this give and just chew time off the clock.
Just rotate back and forth between Diaz and Freckleton.
And if you don't get the 1st down, punt, pin him deep, give him a long field to work with. Time is starting to creep toward your side.
Especially with the way both these teams run their offense. Danbury is not known for quick scoring ability. You're trying to take them out of their element if they've got to come out and throw it around the field. Diaz and Freckleton can eat up a lot of clock. Like we said, they went 80 yards in 5:50 last quarter.
Now they're back in the pistol.
This time they give to Freckleton. Freckleton hits the hole, now bouncing to the left. Flags come flying in from everywhere. Freckleton making several men miss. And finally wrapped up and rolled down by Deontay Vines. This one most likely to come back. And it will be for a hold.
There was a lot going on in the box there.
There were, looked like, as we can see, linebacker, and that's also the quarterback, Davion Vines, coming off, favoring his left leg. I thought there might have been a chop block going on, but it is actually a hold that will negate the long run. So it will still be 2nd down. About 12 yards, it looks like, to go here.
The last thing Stanford needs to do right now is give Danbury another short field.
So 2nd and 15 with 8:40 to play. And again, you don't need to make that mistake. You've got 2 downs. Don't need to get all of it back right now.
No, and that's, you have to sometimes be patient. You have to sometimes trust what you do. Trust what you do that's working at the moment. and not think, well, maybe we can hit this. Let's try to get it all back at once.
Blitz coming. Play fake there, trying to go up top. Here we go. Going up, jump ball situation, and it's knocked away by Deontay Vines in a battle with Aaron Donalfo,
who just about had a pick because he high-pointed the ball better as we tried to get it all back at once.
The play fake worked for half a second. Crandall was coming hard on the blitz. He had to hesitate to respect the give to Vines. But what I don't like about that call, John, most importantly, the clock has stopped.
Correct. You had time on your side. You were 9 and change to go. You're up 7. You've just had a gigantic stop at the goal line. You've dodged a bullet, and you've gotten the ball at the 35 coming out because of an unsportsmanlike penalty. And now you're going to give them the ball back, and it's not going to be that long a field for Danbury when their offense takes the...
Snap to Duncan, drops back, looks right, comes back left, jump ball down the sideline. No one there. And so it will bring up 4th down, and the Black Knights will have to punt.
4th down.
I still might have run it there. Maybe go back to that screen.
Or Danbury use their timeouts.
I agree.
You're stopping the clock for that. The biggest thing Danbury needs right now is time after that. And you're letting them have it.
Nothing has shown you today that the fade to the outside was the play called in those two situations.
And we haven't seen a post or a slant or a hitch thrown today. Everything fade.
We saw one hitch. It was the first pass completion of the game
all
the way back in the first quarter.
You're right.
Which you thought they would come back to.
High snap on the punt.
Oh, what a block, too. As R.J. Hopkins took one right under the chin. He was absolutely crushed by Brendan Fahey.
And Erickson reporting a 7-yard touchdown for Greenwich. They now have a 7-2 lead over West Hill.
All right, I'll get back on the Greenwich train. So 8 minutes to play. The Hatters have got to go 70 yards, trailing by 7. And despite how many times they open the door for Stamford to finish them off, they keep getting another chance.
The Stamford defense has to be feeling some confidence right now. They've shown that when they're fired up, they'll have a tendency to jump off sides. I would mix up snap counts. And we're checking out of the play, too, here, Danbury.
Back to double flanker, double wing for the Hatters. Coming in motion, it's a quick pitch. Could be a double pass. They're going to throw it up top. Open is Crandall. He goes up, makes the catch, stays on his feet. And finally wrestled down at the 38.
Heads up running by Crandall. His knees never hit. He never stopped moving his feet. He kept his leg drive. He picked up an extra 6 or 7 yards.
That's the second twist in a row now we've seen off the toss sweep. Last drive, they came back with the B counter, this time with the toss pass.
Also on that, he obliterated one of the defensive secondaries. The ball was still in the hands of the flanker.
Oh, the corner the corner fell for the fake very, very hard.
But then he took a hit from Crandall
coming over the top.
and was looking for the interference call.
Nice fake by Vines as he runs up into the secondary. And just 15 seconds later after this drive started, the Hatters have moved their way down the field and picked up another first down. And now a timeout called as Vines is cramping up, and he will have to come out for a play.
Immediately, the defender who had been hit had his arms up looking for interference. Again, it's run until the ball leaves the thrower's hands. So on that double pass, you've got to be careful. You can't come up on that, and you can't expect to not get blocked until he crosses the line of scrimmage or the ball leaves his hand.
We talk about doing your job. If you are a secondary player, you are not concerned with the run until the ball crosses the line of scrimmage.
Correct.
Not going to call that one offside as Thomas is met right away in the middle.
I don't think he crossed. I think they were back far enough that he came up, but he didn't cross the nose of the ball.
Hatters sideline is very upset with that one.
That's all I got. That's the only explanation I can give you.
Second down upcoming. 10 to go. And it's Kuth, who is still at quarterback.
Vines is still getting stretched on the bench here in front of us. Spreading the field now, Danbury.
Pistol Kings formation. Twins into the boundary. Dropping back Kuth. He's going to throw it. But it's third and manageable coming up now from the 20-yard line. They'll need 3 for the first down. Let's call it 4 from the 21.
Not really sure why the clock is stopped. The official's trying to get it to run. This clock never should stop. So I'm wondering now if we're going to get a reset from the field.
They're getting the clock run down right now. They'll signal us when we're ready to play. So there we go. 6:20 was the time. We continue to go. Scorekeepers and clock malfunctioners, they need to get some to the start of the year. They'll have their mistakes. 3rd and 4. The give up the gut. Taking there is Vines spinning through tackles, and he's wrestled down at the 15. But it's not before he picks up another Hatters first down with 6 minutes to play. First down. Stamford only 1 timeout left. Danbury has yet to use a timeout today. .5:40 on the clock. Pistol set again. Vines in the backfield. Low snap. He's got to keep it himself. Runs up the middle. Broken play, but it still works for a gain of almost 5 yards.
They've got to fix that snap. The low snap limits if you're a misdirection offense like they are.
If you're running a triple option, you're taking out one of the options.
You're taking away downs, too. You may as well play with 2 or 3 downs.
A heads-up play from the senior quarterback to get what he did there. 2nd down and 7 now. They are at the 12-yard line. But, John, this has not been the comfort zone for the Hatters the last few drives. Low snap again. Give to Thomas this time. So he continues to fight. Has finally wrestled down after he gets another yard up to the 11. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Pistol. When they get down here and what you're running is working.
It's been an interesting I just still can't get over they ran it from the 6-inch line. 4:30 to play. Back in the pistol again. Thomas offset right. Vines in the backfield. Augusto slot on the left. He comes in motion. Could be jet sweep. Low snap. And quite frankly, it's an offsides penalty, so it will not hurt Danbury. But had that been a false start, it might have still been better than the end result of that low snap again, John.
We'll never know, but I think that would have been jet sweep to Augusto.
Looked like it was going to be jet sweep, but they were never getting that off with that snap.
No.
And
they weren't getting. All they were doing was getting him hit.
And the Hatters fans were very upset because he did get hit after the whistle. And for the first time today, Danbury will take a timeout. 4:18 to go. We'll step aside quickly and be right back with the final 4 minutes right here on the HAN Network.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Players have access to soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball and softball, field hockey, rugby, basketball, volleyball, and social game facilities. InSports has also launched an early childhood development program, a daycare and pre-K program all rolled into one. Don't miss out on the fun. Find out more at insportscenters.com or call 203-268-1214.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Back on the HAN Network, 3rd and 1 coming up from the 6. The give to Vines. Met at the 5-yard line. He will pick up a first down. Needed one, got about 1.5 there, John, as we hit 4:10 on the clock.
Not by much. I almost would ask for a measurement if I was Stanford, if just to buy the 4th timeout there.
So running towards 4 minutes, I don't think they would have been so lucky as to get that measurement, though.
No.
Looks like he was pretty clean there. Pistol set again. Snap goes through the legs of Vines. Picked up by his brother, and he's wrestled down. And for the 3rd time in a row, a drive that has found its way inside the 5-yard line has backed itself up.
1st and goal at 4 is now 2nd and goal at the 17. You want to talk about a drive killer?
Clearly, we haven't even thought of saying this yet. The heat and fatigue, you don't notice the linemen unless they're cramping up out there. It will affect the center snaps as well.
Oh, absolutely.
3rd time in a row that we had seen a low snap. Vines had been able to field the first few. It was his brother behind him who had to take that one. And now Danbury, all sorts of confused, will be forced to take a timeout with 3:08. This has been a bizarre finish here, John.
This drive has just totally fallen apart on Danbury, from knocking at the door to now. There's not a lot of plays on your sheet under the 2nd and goal from the 17 section.
And you know what? I understand that Vines down there. He's a high school player. Had to call that timeout. He's confused. If I'm the coach on the sideline right now, I might take that delay of game. 2nd and goal from the 22nd with 2 timeouts left is probably better than 2nd and goal from the 17.
All right, let's think ahead now. Let's say Danbury gets close but doesn't get in. Do you kick the field goal because you're going to need it at some point?
I would kick the field goal only because I can then have a chance at an onside kick. If you don't kick the field goal and don't get it, Stanford realistically has a chance to run out the clock with 1 first down.
I agree.
So that's why I would kick the field goal there.
I agree.
You've got to consider all the options to give yourself the best chance. Yes, the touchdown ties the game, but if you don't get it, the game is guaranteed over. But you could also make the case that it's a sophomore kicker. Should he miss that kick, the game is over.
But he looked strong in pregame.
I agree.
For what it's worth. I mean, there's great pregame and practice kickers that.
From where it stands now, it would be a 34-yard kick, which would be an impressive feat for the young man. Before that, though, it's 2nd and goal. Fake the jet sweep. Option pitch. Augusto working to left. He's got blockers in room. Cutting inside. Heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Hatters.
Rendered that discussion moot.
2:59 on the clock. Tie game pending the extra point on the scoreboard.
That was a long option flip to get it out to the perimeter, and there wasn't anybody there. It was the same, very similar to how they scored their first touchdown.
And it's a great job of the misdirection use again. They set up the jet sweep several times. They fake off that option the other way. And now the most important kick of the young man's life as Lucas Amaro lines up the game-tying extra point. Looked like Stanford's offside. Amaro with an impressive double clutch there, stopping his toe on a dime right before the ball.
Seriously.
Let me ask you this. You got the ball on the 1-yard line now. Do you go for the win?
I'm really tempted to.
Opening weekend, why not? And they're going to take a timeout. They want to think about it.
They're going to think about it. I've been in this situation. I've been in this situation with a team that was struggling. And my feeling was they don't learn anything. We're not gaining anything from a tie. So let's go for it.
We'll take a quick break here, but we'll be right back with the 2-point conversion or field goal coming up on the HAN Network.
At Mex on Main, Trumbull's very own Mexican Grill, we're all about fresh, fast, and friendly service. Our Main Street restaurant offers the best in traditional and non-traditional Mexican dishes, with only the best ingredients, never frozen. From authentic burritos, fajitas, quesadillas, and salads, we have something on the menu for everyone in the family. And enjoy our open salsa bar, giving you more ways to customize your meal. Stop in for lunch or dinner at 6528 Main Street, Trumbull, or find out more at mexonmain.com.
We're back, John. It is 14-13 following Augusto's second touchdown. 2:59 to go. Offside penalty on the extra point. The Hatters are out there with the offense going for 2. They want to take the lead.
They still have 3 minutes to go. It's not like it's the last play of the game.
They're in that pistol set, though. Twins up top on the right side.
I'd run ISO if I'm in this
Low
set.
snap again. Vine's able to recover, and he runs it in. Incredible blocking. Titus James on that right side of the line leading the way.
I think the low snap set that play up. The low snap threw the timing of everybody off, and he had enough time as he looked to pick it up to find the seam.
I think the biggest difference we see in that is that it allowed his fullback and his tailback to cross his face and clear that hole.
And he had a huge hole that he hasn't seen a hole that big all afternoon. I really think all of a sudden the low snap, that's not to say you get to rolling your snaps back to your quarterback in pistol, but I think the low snap there really did help out.
What an opening weekend for us, though. The game we had last night, now we've got Danbury with a 1-point lead. 2:59 to go. We'll see how Stamford can answer. Oh, it's great having football back. Does it get any better than this?
It really doesn't. Now, Stamford, their biggest problem right now, they've burned 2 timeouts early. So they only have 1 timeout here. They're down a point, so a field goal could win it.
And keep in mind, too, you had one of those timeouts back in the third quarter. I believe that was before a third down miscommunication play. The second timeout they used was after the 4th offside of a drive.
Right.
To get them in order. So
Which I think they had to do that one.
You had to take it, but it's a timeout that you should never have to use.
No. But what they've got here is Shane Brady, also a sophomore, has shown the strongest leg we've seen today when kicking during pregame.
So here comes the kick from De Oliveira. Fielded on the left hash, working over towards the right side, finds a little bit of a seam, now climbs all the way up. And down at the 40-yard line is the linebacker, Jake Heerman.
Had he been able to ladder that out to his left, he had room on the edge. He had room on the edge.
The other thing Stanford needs to remember, too, 2:52 to go, you don't have to shut the run game down yet.
No. Run the ball and score with nothing left.
2 capable running backs who both have the ability to, one, run for first downs consistently, and as we've seen, bust the big one.
Right, you're just shy of 3 minutes with 60 yards to go.
The give this time to Diaz, working towards the right side, steps over one tackler. Now he's going to reverse field. Side steps around one man. Still coming this way. Finally wrestled down, but a late flag coming in. We'll see who it's on.
I'm really surprised there's not a taunting flag at the tail end of that.
As Diaz danced around for about 12 to 14 seconds there to end up losing what is 10 yards.
I think it's going to be more than that because this is a block in the back should they take it. I think I'd take the play in the down.
I was going to say, why accept that penalty?
I'm not, and so Danbury is going to decline it.
And that's wisely done. You've got 2nd and 20 now.
Get the ball out of their hands.
Compared to what would probably be a 1st and 18 or 20 itself.
Right.
They'll take Diaz out after all that work. The clock continues to run on the reset.
That was the first time that I can recall seeing them pull a tackle on any of these plays out of that set. I don't know why you wouldn't go more quick hit. You're calling a long developing play.
Trips to the right, 2nd and 20 to go. Dropping back, now throwing it down the sideline, looking for the captain, Lavris, but Duncan overthrows it there too far. Lavris hops back up.
And good coverage by Augusto. He found his hip and stayed with him stride for stride. You really didn't have a play there.
Again, it's been the fades that have really seemed to be the go-to call in the passing game. It's 2nd and 20. You got 4 downs to get it. Why not go for 7 yards each play?
And do you go for it if it's 4th down?
You have to.
I think you have to.
You have to. You only have 1 timeout.
Trips low.
To the field. The back set that way. They want to come back again. Another fade shot. This time jump ball situation knocked away, but they're going to get the flag, and I think that's the right call.
Who do you think is on? Because I think that could go either way.
I think they're going to get it on the defense. It looked like Augusto might have had a yank at the jersey along the way there. That's one way to pick up a first down. It's only a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul, but it is an automatic first down.
Well, now we have a problem because they have moved the chains.
But it shouldn't matter because
the
it was
box is held, yeah.
Well, the issue now is the scoreboard reads 3rd and 28. It was 3rd and 20. There they go. They've got that right now.
So this should bring the ball to just outside the 45.
It's a tough call to make, but it is the right one. And that's another, it's a coaching decision there. Maybe you're throwing that fade. You're putting pressure on that corner to have to make a play by himself in this situation.
And it is a reason to throw that fade, is to try to get it's 15 free yards if you can catch him.
And an automatic first.
Correct. Well, no, they haven't done it here. I think that rule has been changed, actually. That it's so you're 3rd and 5 now.
So that would be the first year of this rule change, too, then. That is no longer an automatic first down. But 3rd and 5 now from the 45-yard line. The give inside. Diaz climbing up. He has the first down and then some. Now cuts back inside. And a touchdown-saving tackle coming from Dixon in the safety position. Excuse me, that's R.J. Hopkins at the safety position.
I'd love to see that set again because I think an end went in motion.
It was the split end. The flanker out
but
here.
He was on the. No, he was on.
No, he was off. It
was he off?
The slot man was on.
Because I thought the guy inside of him was off. I was trying to see if they were unbalanced inside of that.
Miscommunication here. 1:37 to play now. They try to switch the receivers. Still 1 timeout left for Stanford. They're up to the 38-yard line.
You want that for the field goal should you need it.
Will they get this play off in time? Motion coming. They snap it. Fake the give. It's an end around. Looking for room is Denafano. He gets to the outside. Maybe gains 2.
The Danbury defense in their demeanor is starting to show that they're wearing down. Does Stamford have enough time to take advantage of that?
Final minute of play now as we are under 60 seconds. 15-14. The Hatters on top. 7-0 New Canaan in the second quarter. Freshman Drew Pine has thrown a 40-yard pass that led to the end of a scoring drive. Taking the snap, Duncan. Looking to the left, comes back right. He's got a man on the wheel route, wide open, going up, makes the catch, and he's down at the 3-yard line. It's Nick Romanella. He caught the big seam pass early in the third quarter. 33 seconds to go. Ball on the 3, 1st and goal. The clock will run once the chains are set.
Run the ball in the middle. And worst case scenario, you've got to call your field goal unit.
How many run plays can you get off before you have to use a timeout for the field goal unit? 33 seconds right now. Realistically, you'd like to score on 1.
Right.
Do you have a chance to get 2 off, or after this run play, if you don't get it, do you have to go to the field goal?
I would take it down to 6-7 seconds before a timeout. So how much do I want to hurry up?
The give to Diaz, jumping to his left, driving for the pylon. Touchdown, Black Knights! And Stanford is back on top.
And the Danbury defense just looks vanquished out there. They look exhausted. They have been run at and run at and run at.
To see the offense stay on the field. I guess you could go for one, or you could kick the PAT if you want, and they will. You probably should.
Well, they've got to get 11
should,
guys
yeah.
on the field if they're going to do that right now.
There's communication there, but what a finish to this one. They took over with 2:59 to go. A holding penalty. Well, it didn't even matter there. They declined the holding penalty, but -10 on the first play from scrimmage, a pass interference, a huge wheel route, and a touchdown run later.
There's Stanford's last timeout. When they lost 10 yards on first down, and when they ran the ball and stuck with running the ball, they really imposed their will on Danbury.
Last we heard from West Hill, it was 7-2 in favor of the Cardinals. A safety thing. Greenwich has scored since then to make it 7-0. 34-7 the last time we checked on Darien and St. Joe's. John, if you are the Hatters right now, are we going to see some kind of trick play on this kickoff with 13 seconds? Or do you allow yourself a Hail Mary or maybe a hook and ladder type play?
I think I would do it with the hook and ladder.
So you use your trick play from scrimmage, get as much as you can on the return.
Because you have control over how that play will start. The kickoff, you kind of have to react to what's going on, how the ball is caught.
So the Black Knights will go for two. The give to Freckleton. Working towards the right pylon. Shakes off a couple tacklers for the goal line, and he gets in. 2-point conversion. It is a 7-point game.
All second effort. And multiple... Scott Erickson reporting via Twitter that West Hill going in for a score to take the lead, put it on the ground, and Greenwich recovered.
It was Drew Pine who connected with Ryan O'Connell on a 34-yard pass. O'Connell finished it off the next play for a 3-yard touchdown run. So the freshman has been into the game for the Rams and has led a touchdown drive. But enough about those other games. We got the best one going on right here.
This is a great game.
This has been absolutely incredible. Both games this weekend. So much fun. This one back and forth until the end. Squib kick, or do you kick it deep?
Oh, I squibbed this. I would squib every kick, given a choice, to be honest with you.
That is where we differentiate, but I used to coach guys like Peter Swindell who put it through the back of the end zone.
Right, well, I mean, if you've got a guy like Peter Swindell who's going to kick it 67 yards, and kick it 7 yards beyond the end zone, that's one thing.
I'll tell you what, Colin Lowe for Ridgefield had some serious depth on his last night. As the kick is up, it's a short, high-hanging kick.
And returnable.
Fielding there is Augustino. Bounces to the outside, but he is met and wrapped up by tacklers with 8 seconds to go. No timeouts left. Ball on the 35. Realistically, one play unless you want to run a 5-yard out to the sideline.
Well, or you draw pass interference.
True.
You run that fade, you draw the pass interference, and now you've picked up 15 free. You've got an untimed down to do something. I think we see a gadget play of some sort here.
Week 1, not every team has got that gadget play installed yet.
That is indeed true.
Something to consider here.
Week 12, a lot of those teams don't have that gadget play installed.
Could just be a true Hail Mary effort here.
We haven't seen him really throw, so I don't know what we've got for a long arm here.
Could just be, hey, after you catch it, start looking to lateral to people.
Yeah.
Wheels coming, ball thrown over the middle. Crandler waiting there, knocked down. But with 1 second left, and every coach is sitting there yelling out, why wouldn't you pick it off? I guarantee you every coach in the pre-huddle said, knock it down.
Well, I think the intent was to pick it off if you watch Aaron Donalfo's reaction. I think his intent was to pick it off.
Tough to tell, but so we'll have one more play here. Stanford has climbed back to take a 7-point lead, 22-15, after taking possession with 2:59 to go.
Stanford's safeties are playing at 25 yards off the line of scrimmage.
The linebackers are at 15. We'll see if they throw it quick and maybe try some laterals. Ball down the sideline, going up. It's knocked down, and it is over. The Black Knights come out on top. What a finish, John. And it's a heartbreaking loss for Danbury. We talked about last year. They start 0-6. They wanted to get off that fast start. 2:59, you score. Get the 2-point conversion to go ahead. Just unbelievable finish.
Had all the momentum in the world. They get the 2-point conversion, and then on first down, hit Stamford for a 10-yard loss. You've got them 2nd and 20 because the penalty on that play was declined. You've got to make that stop.
The scoring was very easy to keep track of. Augusto got it started for the Hatters. Diaz came back with the big 80-yard touchdown catch. Then he comes back in the third quarter following the 5-minute, 50-second drive. He finishes off with a 35-yard touchdown run. We go fast forward all the way, 2:59 left in the fourth quarter. Augusto adds on his second touchdown. Go 2 minutes later, 13 seconds ago, Diaz picks up his third from 3 yards out following the huge wheel route to Romanella down the sideline. Special thank you to Eric Gendron, AJ Simonowski directing and helping out up here in the booth. Everyone on the camera, Marty Herson, Kate Plenty, who got to hang out. I want to congratulate Josh and Liz, wish them the best of luck. What a weekend of football, and we've got 10 more to go, not just 9.
Love it.
For John Kovac, I'm Frank Granito. Again, the final score in this one, Stamford 22, Danbury 15. Make sure you check us out tomorrow. We'll have Nutmeg Sports at 2, and we will have Norwalk Soccer hosting Wilton 7:30 on Monday night right here on the HAN Network.
The preceding has been a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.